Hi guys, here is Alessio Puccio and welcome back to another recap video. So in today's recap video, we're going to be talking about, as always, the trades that I took. We have, the, let's say, the screenshot, the dashboard about the overall challenge that I'm going through with Trade Pool. And yeah, the curve is not very good. A lot of mistakes have been made, but this is the topic for another video. So for this recap, we're going to be looking to the trade that were taken from 18th of May to 22 of May, and we do not have a lot of trades. As you can see, we have 4 trades on the stocks and 1 or 2 trades on the forex. So yeah, let's stay with me because at the end I'm gonna show you something really interesting about what I'm doing, because results are coming. Maybe we can't see them yet, but they are behind the corner. So as I said, I made a lot of mistakes, so follow the videos because I will be making another video where I will be talking about the mistakes that I made, hoping that can help every one of you. But let's focus on the today recap. So let's go, guys. So I want to start with stocks as always, and I'm gonna start with MDB, sorry, and this was the trade that I took. Okay, this was one of the mistake that I was talking about, but as I say, it will be the topic for another video. But yeah, as you can see, the setup is always the same. We have a good context, we have clean pose, a clean sell-off. We call this sell-off, this pullback, the MB, the ment block, but it's just a pause on a rising 5, 10 or 20 EMA, and then I just position myself on the double MB, the double break, so the simplified Wyckoff, and this was a loss. Okay, yes, it was a loss, and as you can see, it was a loss. And this was one of the trade where I just tried to get position again, and I unfortunately, took another loss on these. So this was the second trade. Oh no, I'm sorry, I just confused. I just confused with the previous week. Sorry, this is another trade. So that was a loss. This is another trade. Is SM, and this is this trade. So setup always the same. Trending, clear trending market, clear pause, and this actually was a good trade. But it ended up in a loss. So it's happened when good trades, end up being losses. It's okay because you follow your plan, because you follow your system, you follow your setup. So everything is okay because losses are part of the system. Actually, losses are what give you fuel for your system, because without losses there are no winners. And so this actually was a good setup that ended up being a losses, and it's completely fine because you need to get used to the losses. Okay, and as you can see, I'm here showing you my profits, my progress, and I'm really not concerned about the fact that I'm drawdown, because I know I can definitely come back and exit from the drawdown. And even if I failed, because I made a lot of mistakes, even if I failed, I know that my system is in place, and I just needed to give it the time, okay, for the variance to be positive. Because when we trade, and this is a very, very, very important concept, when we trade, we do not know how the variance will be. And when I say variance, I mean that you don't know where the good trades are and the bad trades are and the break-even trades are. Maybe you can start all your curve with a 2, 3, 4% drawdown, maybe 20 trades, all losses and break-evens, and then from the 21st trade, let's say, okay, you end up being profit because you have the profit streak. And so since you and we don't know the variance, if the system you are dealing with is a profitable system because you tested and you know for sure that it is a profitable system, you really do not have to worry about your curve, because somehow in the future, if you are consistent in executing your trades and your setup in the way you tested them, so in a way where an edge presents itself, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you will be profitable, okay? Because you will have given, the system time to perform. The edge given the time, the edge, the time to show itself. And so this is very, very, very important. And okay, let's go with another trade. And the other trade was HPE. Oh yeah, I didn't show you the loss. Sorry. Yeah, this was the loss. Okay, just tap me in and instant loss. HPE. This one. Good trending market. Good pause. Trade. It ended up being a loss. Sorry. Okay. So I just want to be fast because every week will be the same. These trades, all these trades are taken live on the Discord chats. You can follow the Discord chat. You find the link in the YouTube description. So I just want to go fast because every single trade has been broken down in the chat. Okay, so this is just a recap for the ones of you that are not in the chat, and I suggest you be in the chat. But yeah, it's gonna be fast for that reason. And then we have the AXTI trade, and this is why at the beginning of the video I say that the results are behind the corner, because these trades actually and because of this trade I just create another column called finale where I'm gonna from today on I'm gonna collect the screenshot of the trade after the stop loss. So this was the trade. Perfect, again, perfect context because price was exiting, going out from an accumulation. So there is strength here. Then we have a perfect pullback. The sell-off was not too aggressive. There were no, 2 weeks on the candle. As you can see, the pullback itself was clean. Okay, as you can see, it's clean. As you can see, maybe you see it better in the entry time frame. It's very clean, and the entry also was very, very clean. And this has been really, really unlike, as a trade, because it ended up being a break-even. As you can see, you stopped out a break-even, and then, and this is why I create the finale column, this is the trade, guys. Okay, look, and bam. So this is just, let's say, an unlucky trade. But if I keep executing in the right way and being consistent with my setup, just like this one, these are the trades that I'm looking for. And these trades will present themselves. Okay, so I just need to wait. I just need to execute. I just need to be patient. This is the key. Patient, sitting there for hours without doing nothing. This is the key. 95% of the work, of the job that a trader, does is waiting for, these kind of setups. And so, yeah, this is the trade. This was perfect. And I don't want to say anything else because it will be the topic for another video, but this is actually the setup. And if you have a sharp eye, maybe you just notice that there is a little difference from this setup to the other, that to the losses that ended up being a losses. And this is what we will be talking in the next video, so make sure to follow the channel and maybe subscribe, just to know when the new video will be out, because this is important. This is very, very, very important. It was not, let's say it's a mistake, but was not really a mistake. But I just don't want to say anything else. Just see the videos, guys. Okay, sorry, I just didn't want to confuse you. Okay, so this is the week for the stocks, 2 losses. Okay, so minus 0.5%, not a big deal. And then we have the forex, where I trade in indices, US 30. And this was the trade. So again, big trending market. Somehow a clean setup. Maybe there is only this week that is not perfect, or this sell-off, this red candle. This is a big red candle, but the overall pullback was a clean pullback. So I decided to trade it anyway. The sell-off in the entry time frame, as you can see, was clean. So I use to define, a pullback, a sell-off as clean, not only looking at the V, but especially looking at the E, because the E is a lower time frame, so you can see more action. And this was a clean, really clean. Despite this candle, big candle down, and this week, this was a clean setup, at least for me. And this was a perfect trade. Okay, nothing to say, okay, about this trade. And where it is, and this was the stop loss, okay, that we took, and this was the finale. So as you can see, again, this was just an unlucky trade, but it happened. It doesn't matter, because this means that the system is playing out, and this means that you are doing the right job. So I'm not concerned for the losses. I'm not worried for the losses, because this is what I'm looking for. This time I've been unlucky. With the AXTI trade, I've been unlucky, but there will be other trades where I will be lucky, okay, where the edge will play out. And so that is just what I'm waiting for. So the overall, let's say the overall week Forex and stocks has been minus 0.75%, because we had 3 losses. And this is why, and this is the last concept of this video, because you know that I like to do the recap, but I also like to give you something to think about. And this is why I like to keep my risk low, because I think that if I'm able to keep my risk low, I'm also able to execute without worrying too much about, the profit or the losses. I ended up the whole week with a minus 0.75 loss. So, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. And so I highly suggest, despite what you hear online, maybe 1 or 2% losses, that you need to go lean, that you need to martingale, to average down, or something like that, I highly suggest you to reduce your risk, because it's inevitable that the loss streaks will happen, okay? And especially if you're in a prop context, the maximum drawdown limit will be hit very fast. So there is really no reason why to fail a challenge, why you just could have, decreased the of your trade. So the risk, there is really no reason in failing the challenge. And if you decrease the risk, you just get used to not be greedy. okay, in a certain sense, not be greedy. And yes, this is what I did. This is what I will continue to do, and this is what let me be inside the competition despite all the losses that I took, losses, break evens. I don't want to go inside of this topic. There are just, when you trade live, there are commission and slippage and spreads to take into account. But overall, these are losses and break evens. And the fact that I, kept my risk, let's say, low, let me be in this challenge, still in this challenge despite all the losses. So this is what I want to focus about: capital preservation over gain. Okay, this is important. So again, thank you guys for following me, for being with me for another recap. Just leave a comment if you have anything to ask. Maybe if you want that I talk about specific topics, or if you want me to show something different than what I'm showing you right now. Subscribe to the channel if you want. Go in the chat, in the Telegram chat. The Telegram chat is where happens everything live. That is the most important environment where you should be if you really want to understand how, let's say a real day in the life of a trade is, of a trader is. Sorry. And yeah, thank you for following, and as always, we are going to see in the next video. Thank you.